Hi everybody, this is Rick here. Welcome to Digital Fortress. I had a few questions about my video on slot battles, pretty popular video, and the impact really isn't that much. It's just something to think about. There's testing being done and some considerations about it. So I just wanted to kind of give you my perspective using Adams equity theory. I used to be a military manager, and Adams equity theory was well understood because basically, you could look it up. You could look it up online. Look up Adams equity theory. The general idea is it was developed by an American psychologist, John Stacey Adams, in 1963. So you can Google that to see what I mean. And I also wanted to try out this live streaming thing with the cell phone. It's probably bouncing around a lot because I'm looking around and not realizing, oh yeah, it's probably bouncing around. So I'll try to stabilize the camera. But at any rate, how would it apply to slot battles? Well, the general idea is if you apply it to employees or businesses or any group of people who do, as long as they are getting the same recognition, rewards, and pay for the same amount of work, then you have a good balance, and people are happy, motivated, inspired, and they put in their level of effort. But if there's an imbalance, people will work to resolve the imbalance, or they'll try to resolve the imbalance, okay? So it applies basically to employees, but how would that apply to pool operators? Well, what I identified in one of my previous videos was that there's a slight imbalance in the 50%. Basically, if you take 50%, slot battles is an even coin toss, which is pretty much like the United States. The United States is at the 50% marker, and but there's other geographic regions where there's a concentration of nodes where it's higher than 50%. Win in the slot battles, and there are other outlying areas where it's less than 50%. So there's testing being done to see what can be basically try to mitigate that a little bit. But I wanted to give you an example because I had a lot of questions. People asked me questions about the impact and what the percentage is. Well, the percent slot battles it's only about 5%, which doesn't really seem like much. It really isn't. And there's things you can do to mitigate that. You can have more nodes set up in your area. That was some of the feedback I got. You can set up more nodes yourselves or encourage other node operators to set up their nodes. Currently, there's other mitigations. You can try to offset the time a little bit to compensate for the distance to nearby node concentrations and stuff like that. So there's various things you can do, or you could just set up your node in an area where there's a concentration of nodes to improve your winning slot battles. So why does it matter? Or was it care? Well, I'll give you an example that I thought of. Let's say, for example, you get a paycheck and it's $1,000 a week or 1,000 euros a week, just an example. And then 5% slot battles occur and you're on the losing side more often than not. So let's say, for example, your paycheck goes in a bank, $1,000 a week on average after taxes, but randomly 5% is gone. So you only get $950. So this week you got 1,000, next week you got 950, the week after that you got 1,000, and the following week you got 950 again. Maybe sometimes it's only 900, okay, or 850. Now, if you see that occurring, you're going to try to work to balance it and say, well, what can I do to make sure I get that? I want to get the $1,000, okay. I don't want to get the random 950 or 900. So you might try to figure out ways, well, how do I compensate for that? Well, that's probably what I'm getting at is that's the general effect that pool operators may see or perceive over time. This is over a long period of time. And they'll try to figure it out. And then they'll try to figure out, how do I do it? Do I offset time? Do I locate my node? Do I lower my percentage? Like if in one area of high slot battle wins, they charge, let's say it's a 2% fee of 1, then you're going to take a bigger hit. So it's a complicated math problem. But I just wanted to try to answer some questions that came up and give you an example of that and show how Adams equity theory comes into play. Now, I know a lot of times people say, well, it's just a theory. Well, theories usually have some practical application and they're based off of some observations and some work that's done. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. I hope this was helpful. Plus, it gave me a little practice. I usually don't have much to talk about on videos where I do a live stream from a cell phone. But this gave me some target practice. I can't see if there's a chat, and I don't even know how to turn it off. I guess I better figure out how to turn off this live stream. Y'all have a great day, great weekend. Happy Friday. Happy Friday from cool and rainy Virginia. Y'all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. As soon as I figure out how to turn off the live stream.